Hello YouTube, this is Judgment Game 44 here, and today we are here to talk about, to review Steven Universe, the 4 new episodes, Little Homeschool, Guidance, Rosebuds, and finally, Volleyball. So let's begin with the first episode. The first one pretty much begins with the new intro and everything, of course, as long with a new how the whole intro they usually show things, but now showing inside Steven's car driving. That's nice. So in the beginning of the episode, we pretty much see Steven getting bottles and filling up the tub with 3 different things. At first, I thought Steven was going to be taking a bath, but of course that turned out not to be true. He pretty much put blue, yellow, white, and his own spit in it, creating this rainbow-looking tub. And out came a new uncorrupted gem, which kind of makes sense because you really think they would have had all the uncorrupted gems by now in a way. But then again, as the seasons went by, we've pretty much been seeing less corrupted gems they've been going against. Honestly, season 5 had the most rares. I think there was only like 1 or 2 corrupted gems they had to catch. Actually, no, just one, and that was with Peridot. But nonetheless, after all that, we pretty much see a new uncorrupted gem who is freaking out, has no idea what's going on. Steven's actually excited to actually show her around, giving her cards, and pretty much they're taking a little drive to a little home world. And it's basically now a little homeschool thing where basically Garnet, Pearl, Amethyst are all teaching them human things plus other things as well, how to learn things. The new gem is questioning this and that about all this type of stuff. We get to see what Pearl's doing, showing how gems use a phone. Garnet using some type of yoga. Of course, Steven mentions that she does a bunch of stuff. Amethyst, pretty much, you can do whatever you want. Nonetheless, it's pretty much a little showing around what's going around here, like we saw in the whole entire trailer. So nonetheless, we get to see what Amethyst and Steven are talking about. And basically, Amethyst and Steven are both talking about how things have been changing and how great it is, and how everyone is now. All except for that gem, she, and Josh and Amethyst saying, let her go. And when I thought she was first talking about that, I thought Steven was talking about Pink Pearl, but quickly I figured out it was actually Jasper. Jasper after we saw her. It was kind of weird though. You would think Jasper would kind of be off world or off Earth or be somewhere else, but really close to Earth, and really I don't even think she's that far away from Little Homeworld or Beach City. She's just in the middle of a forest, basically training and being in a cave, isolating herself. And she basically doesn't like bugs or pretty much anything because all these Earthlings, she calls bugs Earthlings, grass Earthlings, like you really don't know the difference between plant and organic and human life thing. Okay, nonetheless, pretty much Jasper is mad and everything. Oh, what, you expect me to change? Oh, what, you heal me, so now I should be loyal to you? Steven is trying to explain to her he's trying to explain to her basically. I uncorrupted you because you pretty much corrupted yourself. I'm not saying that you are being loyal to me. I'm trying to say, of course, Jasper doesn't understand. And then she pretty much said, you are not my diamond. And pretty much she said, if you really want to prove to me, then fight me. And then then Steven says, okay. And Jasper said, really? Which you can kind of see, excitement in her eyes. And then pretty much next, we get this fight scene. And pretty much at first, it's pretty much Steven trying to dodge and use his sealed bubble. Then out of nowhere, Steven unlocks his new pink diamond of aura abilities, which is transformation. That's interesting. And then next, we get this where Steven gets really angry and then starts attacking her over and over. And Jasper's actually loving it. And then after the fight's over, Steven goes back to normal and pretty much says, oh my god, Jasper, I am so sorry. And then Jasper gets mad again. I don't want you apologizing. For peak's sake. And then Steven kind of realizes maybe there's some things he can learn from Jasper, and Jasper said, consider that as your first and only lesson. Nonetheless, pretty much, Steven did ask, can I come see you around? You can do whatever you want. That's basically what happened there. Nonetheless, we get a look around what helped Steven fixing around the place and everything, and that was kind of simple and nice scene. After that, pretty much we're seeing what other things is going on, and it was actually kind of nice. This episode was kind of simple. I will admit, I did kind of feel like it was a little rushed to show Jasper. Either this will be the only time we will see Jasper, or there will be more of Jasper we'll be seeing, and maybe Jasper at the end of this series will actually she'll finally accept everything and come, or maybe this will just be the Emperor, or maybe she'll still be a rebellious ruler. I mean, you know what I mean, a rebellious that want things to stay the same. Now, nonetheless, let's go on to the next item, Guidance. Now, Guidance was kind of actually a fun little episode, and personally, I think it was one of my favorites out of the others. Here, we pretty much get to see Smoky Quartz again and everything. Of course, before we get into that, let's probably begin from the beginning. We're pretty much seeing how all the new gems are doing their jobs. We get to find out some of the new gems, Snowflake Obsidian, which, yeah, Crazy Legs is that big crazy girl, so now we know which gem is Crazy Legs. And also, pretty much Big Snowflake, Crazy Legs. Now we know all the three gems that Bismuth was talking about. But besides all that, we pretty much get to see what all the gems are doing. I will admit, it was kind of hard to memorize all these new gems' names, so I'm pretty much going to call them how they were already been called. The Crab Monster gem has basically now become a pizza restaurant making, and pretty much the Ice Monster is now pretty much making ice cream cones with obsidian, and pretty much we found out what obsidian's abilities are. Their ice abilities, not really a lava. Of course, that kind of makes sense because Snowflake Obsidian. I mean, you can tell by it's a snowflake, but they're just calling it obsidian for short. Now, nonetheless, we get to see there's two rubies gardening the mayor. There's pretty much a bunch of court soldiers who are running the place, the whole entire funland. And we see some of the Nephrites actually pretty much doing plain work. That's all fun and everything. So what happens here is Steven kind of thinks it's not really right simply because they're pretty much doing what their purpose. They're pretty much doing what all their abilities are, like staying in their comfort zone. And so Steven tries to make everything by switching them all around, like saying do this, do that, like saying try new things that you basically couldn't really do that much with your abilities. I mean, with your abilities that you don't need your abilities for. And basically, some of the gems were saying this is just like how we did on Homeworld, where we use our abilities for things. Of course, it turned out to become a mess, and then next you know, all the gems. Ice Monster, though, the little cute one, loves screaming, the enjoyment of streaming fun rides. But sadly, that gets messed. Next you know, Steven and Amethyst are trying to work together to fix everything. Then next you know, Obsidian is pretty much almost going to be crashing down to the ground. So this is when pretty much Steven and Amethyst fuse into Smoky Quartz and then go save them. And then she's running really fast, and then next thing you know, she unlocks another pink aura thing, we're calling it. And what happens here is that she's able to run really fast, and actually run really fast, and apparently everything around her goes very slow. Nonetheless, she pretty much gets everything fixed up, and Steven is now kind of feeling depressed because he just made things worse. All the gems are now back where they used to be, but Amethyst explains to her that Amethyst explains to him that pretty much all the gems were talking about what they wanted to do, what made them feel comfortable, but at the same time, what did they all want to be now that they're finally free. Steven actually finally realizes that they weren't actually pretty much being assigned to purposes or everything. As a matter of fact, they actually love doing what they now can do with their abilities as well. But nonetheless, Ice Monster apparently found a new thing. Instead of making ice cones, he's now actually pretty much now giving out presents and toys to kids now because he enjoys hearing them screaming in joy. It turns out it was really fun. I personally did like the ending where pretty much Onion was still in the whole entire funline car that's now in the water, and saying we forgot Onion, and then he quickly says, "Oh wait, no, forget it. He's fine." It was actually funny. Now let's move on to Rosebuds. Now I have to admit, I was kind of a little disappointed at first, but then I can kind of see where it was going, and I actually do like it. It first begins with Steven trying to put the rose painting somewhere else, somewhere different, and pretty much he can't find a place, so he puts it back where it already was from the Steven Universe movie was. And we get to see all different types of places where that goes, but nonetheless, Greg and Amethyst are talking where, like, see, Steven just really wants this painting to be somewhere else, where it seems more fitting. Nonetheless, Steven, the whole entire human suit basically comes back. Is it me or does it look smaller? Okay, nonetheless, pretty much the human humans are now in control of the ship, and it's pretty much now become like a Hawaii cruise ship thing. All the amethysts are now actually enjoying it. Holly Blue Agate's now just complaining, saying, "Get back to your work and stop being lazy." Of course, the humans don't really like Greg, so Greg doesn't come. Yeah, I guess they are not over him, what he did and everything. You would kind of think they would, but nonetheless, Holly Blue Agate is just giving up now. And when she sees Steven, sorry Steven, how are we going? type thing, doing a weird walk. Nonetheless, all the amethysts and jaspers are now enjoying the place, and the humans actually came to actually show Steven something, and all the rose quarters unbubbled. Of course, it looks like there would be a whole lot more rose quarters. Of course, you weren't really going to be expecting thousands of them. How many we saw, how many were bubbled. Nonetheless, we get to see 3 special rose quarters, and one looks exactly just like rose quartz, except without the dress, the gem placement and everything. The big white dress. Okay, besides all that, we get to see others. One that looks more relaxed, one that looks more energetic, and pretty much they're all enjoying. They all pretty much want to hang out with Steven, and pretty much they already know he's a hybrid and everything, so yeah. They talked, they everything, they had fun. Of course, Steven, Garnet, Pearl, Amethyst, they're all pretty much uncomfortable with these little scorches, even Steven himself. And throughout the whole entire day, Steven's just trying to relax, enjoy with them, but having problems. Invite them over to the house, and pretty much invite them over for a slumber party. And pretty much no matter. And then at the end, the Rose Quarters just kind of realize he doesn't want us here. Let's just go. Then Steven has to go explain why, and pretty much is actually understandable. Steven is uncomfortable having them there. It's not because of them, it's because they remind him so much of mom, and he thought he was ready to move on. Of course, he wasn't. And then they start talking about, oh, well, to be fair, we're uncomfortable too, and they pretty much explain why. It turns out they were just acting so happy and everything. But in reality, they were just kind of uncomfortable because with the whole entire Pink Diamond pretty much using create her so she could create her own persona as a rose quartz just to be so, and the rest of us would be bubbled. And for, pretty much they say we know you wouldn't understand, and Steven actually says I do understand, and pretty much they actually start having a nice conversation, and they all actually do start loving each other, and Steven calls them all siblings. So pretty much Steven has now a bunch of sisters. Nonetheless, that's pretty much all great and everything. So, pretty much what happens here is that they all decide to leave, though, only because we really don't want to live here, though. Well, we don't mind, like, coming back to hang out, and you can come hang out with us anytime you want, type thing. And Steven finally found a place to put the painting in the pocket mansion next to the tree. I have to admit, though, when I first watched, I kind of thought the eyes would open for some reason since we were getting a close look at it. But no, that didn't happen. The end. Okay, I know there is still one more episode, but since we only have 2 more minutes left in this video, since I can't make videos longer than 15 minutes, I'm going to have to cut this video into 2 parts for the last part. Sorry everyone, but this will be part 1. Until then, this is Justin Game 44, signing out. Until then, I'll see you all later. Bye!